The Garden Report is brought to you by FanDuel, the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network.
Hey, Bobby Manning here. Welcome to a practice edition of the Garden Report. Celtics practiced in full today. Jaylen Brown returned to practice, and he just had a piece of tape on that right finger. Looked good. Didn't see him handling the ball or shooting by the time we got in there. So we'll look out for that tomorrow. Celtics expect him to play on Saturday with no restrictions against this Hawks team that they finally discussed here. Joe Mazzulla, Jayson Tatum, Marcus Smart all talking about Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, and the Atlanta Hawks, who they'll face off with starting on Saturday's Game 1.
CLNS Media's Celtics coverage is brought to you by FanDuel. Sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston and make every moment more on America's #1 sportsbook.
Can't overlook them. We're not overlooking anybody, Tatum said. Joe Mazzulla played clips of the three meetings between these teams and starkly noticed the contrast between Nate McMillan's Hawks that they played in November and Quinn Snyder's. He had just taken over a few games earlier when they played them in early March, and then the Celtics met them at the end of the season last week in a game where neither team played their regulars. So not a ton to go off from the regular season in terms of what the Celtics will see, though. Mazzulla, from watching the tape, from watching the play-in game against the Heat, said it's offensive rebounding. Hawks are going to crash glass like crazy. They're going to put up a ton of threes, and they're going to put pressure on you with their offensive talents, the guards. They need to be ready to guard in transition, Mazzulla talked about here today, but the key is going to be the Celtics getting them in cross matches consistently. Hawks did a pretty good job of preventing the Heat from going at Trae Young in that game, as I talked about with Wes Goldberg on our Garden Report last night. The Celtics need to consistently be able to take advantage of those mismatches and not stagnate. Mazzulla wants them into their offense in the half court 8 seconds into the clock when they do get transition opportunities, and fouling, he said, is crucial. That's going to prevent them from getting on the break. These bench units, looking at the numbers so far, fairly even. Two of the more efficient bench units in the NBA. Though I do think the Hawks will probably play tighter rotation than what we saw against the Heat to keep pace defensively with what the Celtics are doing. Clint Capella needs to be able to stay on the floor against Al Horford. That's a key matchup. And then Jalen Johnson, is that a guy Grant can hang with? Sam Hauser, who's going to play off that Celtics bench? These are the things I'm looking for going into this series. Tatum said he's excited. He's not taking this season for granted. Pretty sullen Tatum energy-wise here at practice today, keeping things low-key, but did say it's been a locked-in, focused, and anxious group to get started with the playoffs. That's the key for me, is not overlooking the Hawks. I think this is a manageable series. I think this is a matchup that really suits Boston. But if you slip up, if you drop a game, if you foul a little too much, if you don't get back on the break and communicate defensively, it is a team that can hurt you. And I do like some of their wings. Bogdanovich can hit some threes. DeAndre Hunter's a guy I've always loved if he's available. He's rock solid as a defender, so they do have a guy that can put on Tatum. But with Jaylen Brown left, I don't see any way that they can guard Brown in this series with the personnel that they have, unless they're able to completely pack that paint. And that's dangerous against the Celtics team that shoots so well from three. I'm interested to hear what they're saying ahead of this series. They did talk. We have their interviews from after the Heat game up on CLNS Media, and we'll continue to preview this series as well. But those are some of the keys to the series for me so far. What are the keys to you? How many games do you think the Celtics might take this one in? Or could this go longer than we expect? Let me know your thoughts below. And for now, this has been the Garden Report here, practice edition at Auerbach Center here in Brighton. For Celtics All Access, go check out our video on Marcus Smart's health entering the playoffs, as well as Jaylen Brown's. And go check out all the reaction for practice over at CLNS Media. Subscribe to both those and join us tonight for a series preview at 8 o'clock.